Sorry, I'm yawning so much. I was up
Mhm.
till 2 a.m. recording
Oh,
with Jesse about what the hell did we watch? That's hilarious. That's how long we talked. Oh, it was the Doctor
I
Who episode.
hope that
Crazy.
you remembered it yesterday when we were talking about it.
Yeah. Welcome back to The Great and Secret Knowledge. I'm your host, Jeff, and with me, the remarkable Sophia.
Hello.
Hello. We're doing something a little different this week. Taking a break from Star Trek The Next Generation and going into one of Sophia's childhood interests. Tell us all about it.
Yeah, we're doing the comic called Bamse. And I thought it would be funny to do it because you and we talked about maybe we should do a cartoon or, something like that. And then I thought, oh, we should do this one because it's like, I guess for me, it's interesting because it is the most famous, I would say, pop culture in Sweden that does not exist outside Sweden, or at least not outside the Nordics. So it's like it's extremely famous in Sweden. Everybody knows it, everybody has read it. Pretty much everyone. I'm sure you can find some that is like, what is this? And it's unusual for me because either, for us, most of our pop culture is either imported or it is something, if it becomes famous enough, at least it will be translated to German or, be popular in some other countries. But this one is very much only local to Sweden. And the other thing, I suppose, is that, we have in Sweden, our government is acting pretty fascist. And
Mm.
because of that, it's interesting to think back about, this kind of, we'll get into it, but this comic is very much like a lecturing comic and it goes into like what are the values, like what should you as a child, like what should you be taught, and it's very left leaning, so therefore it's a little bit interesting to think about it in terms of, right now in Sweden there's a lot of discussion like what are our values, and trying to in different ways, you know in some mostly very weird ways talking about like what does it mean to be Swedish and this kind of things. And those I thought it would be kind of fun to revisit this. And yeah, that was
Yeah.
my plan.
Counteract the rightward shift with something fun.
Yeah, yeah. And I guess it becomes, I mean, we'll see how interesting it is, but for me it becomes interesting to think about, what kind of values are in this comic and is it something that is like, I don't know. Is it something typically Swedish, I guess.
Mm.
But yeah, and we can say that I'll put a link to the comics that we're reading in the Discord. And I don't know if we want to put them anywhere else. Maybe it's better to put them through the Discord. So, and since they're only not available in English, I made English translations. So you'll have to see also
Yes.
my very professional translation, which, it's the language is pretty weird because I tried to do the same
Mm.
weirdness as, like with a lot of children's stories. It's like made to be a little bit funny, it's like this funny choice of words and like weird, what would you call it? Like sentence fragments, I suppose.
Mm.
So I try to keep those. So yeah, with that lengthy introduction, like what did you think about the comic? The three that you read?
I thought it was so warm and gentle. It was like an antidote to other stuff I've been taking in. Like I've been watching Pluribus on Apple TV, which is a hard watch in terms of like what it brings up about society or whatever. But when this comic, usually in the last page or two, it like grabs your emotions and like, yeah, sticks a lesson in your brain. It's very lovely. I was moved multiple times.
Oh, that's fun. I'm happy to hear it.
Yeah, not necessarily with the one from 73 because it didn't have its final pages, but I'm sure it would happen there too.
That's true. I mean, I'm not sure, it's like when I read it, I thought it would be fun to include, but it's very basic. I guess I could say about the stories, just to mention now what we read, is that I picked three different comics and just parts of each one, like the parts of the story. And the first one is actually the very first one, the very first issue from 1973. And it's fun because my parents had it because it was a 20-year anniversary, so they re-released the first issue. And
so this is probably a new cover.
I think that it is. I would assume that it is.
Because he's holding. But if it's supposed to be hearkening back to the original, maybe he wasn't holding a magazine or a comic.
Yeah,
in the original.
I'm guessing in the original, it's just the main. What would you call it? The main front, and then there is like this image where the main character holds a magazine that looks the same as the front of this magazine. I think that's an addition, but I'm not sure. I could look it up, but it seems likely.
I love the gimmick of having another version of the comic inside and then another one inside because it's the cover of itself. What's that?
Yeah,
Recursion?
It's like a mirror game. Yeah, and that one, 1973, it was, like you mentioned, it was actually missing pages, which a lot of the comics that I got to choose from my parents, they were like missing parts of the story. So I was like, oh no, I can't use this one. But then I thought it would be fun to do the first one from 1973, because even though it's like missing part of the story, I think the way that the story was told at that time is that it was really just one long story. Like it's more episodical, like the story was more episodical in how it was told. So I kind of included the first part of the story, but I'm not sure if you would have like felt it was like a huge, I guess, climax at the end, because it's really just like Varian trying to kill Bamse and then failing.
Sort of a Tom and Jerry thing.
Yeah. I think like I did read the ending, so I mean, and it really just ends with like Varian having been stuck in this machine and then trying to like having to break it apart to get out. So it has nothing to do with the start. It's just like this weird episodical, kind of like you said, like with kind of a cartoon feeling to it. So yeah, maybe I should mention the other ones and then we can talk about them each. But then the second one that you read was from 1996, number 12. And I chose this one because it's like it's winter themed. It's like kind of a Christmas theme. And I thought that could be fun to have some winter stories.
Yeah.
So in that one, it is like two different comics that I included. And then the third one is from 2002, number 1. And there I included also one.
So do they start from number 1 at each year?
Yeah.
Okay. So that's why 12 is the winter.
Yeah, I wonder though, was it only once a month? That seems weird to me. Maybe probably
most comics in America are once a month. So it stands to reason.
Yeah, I mean, it might be. And it just felt like I think there were Donald Duck comics that were out every other week.
Mm.
Yeah. But yeah, it could have been it's only once a month. And I have read all of the Bamse from 1993 until about 2004, I would think, because that's the time when my family had them subscribed. And I have younger sisters, or younger siblings as well, but my sisters are youngest. So I would read their Bamse when they came. And I
Hmm.
found them fun. It's like, of course, like if you're older, you're very fast to be like, bloop, reading through them.
Hmm.
But yeah, we were huge fans. And then in Sweden, it's like for children. I mean, I'm not sure how it is exactly these days. Maybe it has broadened a bit. But back when I was a child, you did Bamse and Donald Duck was like the main children's comics. And there was even a bit of a rivalry there, for some people. It was like, which one are you reading? Not for the children, but, for the parents. It might be like,
Hmm.
which one do they prefer? And sometimes you didn't pick both. We didn't get to read the Donald Duck comic, like the comic book, because it was too expensive. So we got to read the pocket instead, which apparently was cheaper and like less good. I don't know.
Pocket, is that a character or a type of duck,
No,
Donald Duck
it's
comic?
like, oh, yeah, I guess you don't call it pocket. It's like pocket book, like you get them instead of it being a comic, like a magazine, you
Oh,
would
it's
get
like a
it as
digest. That's what we call it.
oh, I
Like
don't
they
know.
stick a bunch of stories. That's how I got all my Archies when I was a kid. They
Yeah,
come in like,
maybe.
it's like three or four comics in one.
I mean, it is kind of, but it's like, it looks like uh, you know, uh, a pocket book, like not a hardcover book, but like,
Right. Yeah.
yeah,
Paperback.
paperback. Yeah, that's the one. I keep calling it pocketbook. It's because it's meant to you put them in the pocket, which is
Hmm.
funny because we call it pocket, and it's not a Swedish word, but it's not the same.
Interesting.
Yeah.
It's always interesting the borrowed words. Like, did the Swedes not have pockets until the Germans
Oh
came over?
yeah, for the books. I don't know, but we call it like actual pockets in clothes are called fickor. So I don't know.
Fiku.
We should call it a fickbok or something.
Interesting.
So yeah,
Wow.
I
So,
guess yeah.
oh, go ahead.
I just wanted to talk, but you could say if you have anything like connected
I
to
was
what we
going
were
to get
talking about
into
now.
the cover, like the words I don't know.
Oh yeah, yeah, sure. We can talk about the covers. Let's talk about them first. Are you thinking about the 1973 or all of them?
The 73. So it says Bamse Verden Starkas Bjorn.
Yeah.
Bjorn is bear.
Yeah.
What are these other two words? Is it world's strongest?
Yes. You have known
Nice.
Swedish now. Yeah, world's strongest bear. And I guess I could tell a little bit connected to that. I can talk a little bit about the history, which is not. I sent you a little bit of info, but I didn't include that part. It was like the comic was originally started in 1966, and there it was just part of another shared comic. It was just a comic strip in a shared magazine. And before that, the creator, Rune Andreasson, he made another character that was also a bear. And that character was also strong. But the thing is, it was always strong. And Rune realized that this was not useful because like it would be too powerful. He would have to like remove it all the time for the story to work. So then he thought of like this guy, okay, so only strong if he eats this honey.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Like Popeye.
Oh yeah, I have never really read Popeye, but I know it. We call him, what do we call him? Something like Carl Alfred or something like that. He has a totally different name.
Carl Alfred. Interesting.
Yeah, so then that is like the history of the character, I guess the origin. And then there are a lot of different comics, and like in the beginning it was only about 6 characters, named characters that were actually in the comic. But over time, since it has gone on for so long, they have grown, and it's so many different named characters. I tried to find description, like I tried to find some kind of count to be like how many recurring characters are there, but I could only just like count these lists, and I'm like, okay, it's like way over 100 at least. I don't know how many. Depends if you count all the different gangs, because there's so many different ones where it's like, oh, 5 different people, and most of them are named, but they only appear together as a group.
Oh, interesting. So, Ni Siri Tidning? What's that mean?
That just means new comic book.
Okay. So let's get into it. Bamse, the world's strongest and kindest bear.
Yes.
So he drinks thunder honey, or eats it. It shows him like licking out of the thing, so that's why I said drink. He does all sorts of stuff with his strength to help people. I love this shot of him lifting up the train and the little duck grabbing his coin, or her coin. What's the name of this? What are the names of these characters? We got a rabbit.
Yeah, the ones that are named in this one, and these are the ones that are the original characters. It's Bamse, and that means, like, Bamse is a word for bear. It's because back in the days in Sweden, if you go way back, people didn't use the name for bear because it was considered bad luck. If you said the bear, maybe the bear would appear, because the names have power.
Man.
So therefore you had all these nicknames for bear. And one of them was Bamse, which means like large. So really his name is like large, which is funny because he's smaller than a lot of the other characters.
Yeah.
And it's generally like kind of like a nickname for bear. And then the rabbit's name is Lille Skutt, and it means little jump. It's a easily frightened rabbit who can run really fast. And then the third main character is Skalman, which means shell man. All of the characters pretty much has either, very on the nose names, or it's like puns or different things. So Skalman is a scientist and an inventor, and he keeps all his inventions in his shell, so he can always get all this different stuff out. He has like helicopters and stuff in his shell.
Whoa. It's bigger on the inside.
Yeah, it is. It's like has this some kind of shrinking machine, which that he can keep it all in his shell. And the thing is, like, he is also super overpowered if you think about like in terms of conflicts, because he's really smart and has all the gadgets. So therefore his weakness is that one, he hates to hurry, so he never wants to like rush for anything. And then he also has this clock that he follows for eating and sleeping. So whenever this clock rings, if it's like, oh, you have to sleep now, then he falls asleep. And if it rings for eating, then he's like, oh, I have to eat first. And then he's like eating while they're having this crisis.
That's amazing. So, like, I wondered at first why he was in a rolling chair. I'm like, is he disabled? But no, he just likes to sit.
Yeah, he doesn't like walking.
Does kata lo mean anything?
Yeah, it means like kata is kind of means cat, and lo means lynx.
Oh, okay.
So the idea, I guess, is that it's the candy store. It's like run by the lynx.
Are the lynx the most common wild cat in Sweden?
No, they're very uncommon. They're probably the least common one.
So do
or I
you
guess
have like
in
cougars?
times. No, I guess in types of wildcats we only really have lynx, but they are still super uncommon. I don't think that we have any other wildcats.
And the wolf, Vargan. He's a wolf, right?
Yeah, it is a wolf. And his name it means the wolf. So it's also very on the nose.
He's not even big or bad. He's just the wolf.
Oh, that's true. It's not the
Although
big
he
bad
is
wolf.
big and bad.
Yeah. It's and it's fun, I think, that the characters are all I think they're all native characters to Sweden, but then there are some characters that are not. Like if they go on an adventure to other countries, they will meet like other animals that are more native to there. So like
Whoa.
they went to America at least once, and then there was this raccoon there. One of the characters were,
Yeah.
and they went to like Egypt, and there were all these crocodile characters.
That's
And
cool.
also in Bamse world, in this wherever they live. Actually, I know where they live, but it's not something that comes up very often, so I won't go into it. But in there are also some animals from other countries, and I assume that's meant to be like have immigrated to this area, so it's like a little bit of um, nuance there, I suppose.
Oh, I love that. Wow.
But it's very seldom, like almost no immigrant animals. It's mostly native ones.
Well, okay, couple things. Our mainstream media, I don't know how it happened. Well, I mean, I kind of know how it happened, but it's like it pretended that people of color and immigrants didn't really exist. Occasionally, they're Jewish people or like Eastern Europeans. And the other thing is that when we would talk about the Scandinavian countries having a higher quality of life, sometimes people would be like, but there's no racial strife there, which causes a lot of problems. And I always thought that was goofy, especially now you have more immigrants than maybe you did at some point.
Yeah. I mean, it depends, I guess, how you look at it, because like back when Sweden started to become modern, we had pretty much no immigrants because no one wanted to come here. It was very, very poor. And there was nothing, like there was no reason. And throughout history, like most people didn't want to come here. They came only to the capital or, certain areas. But it was very little immigration, because it's not very fertile country. Um, I mean, it could be other, like there can be some pro stuff. But it was really in the 50s that it at first started to even be interesting for immigrants. So we don't really have a long history of immigration, and we don't really have a good way to, like, in the way of like the shared culture and how to handle it. It's like I would say the US is better. Of course you have other problems now, but in terms of like your different ways to adapt to immigration, like I would say that we are not very good at it. And it's funny because we used to make fun of the US because like, oh, look at them, they do all these like weird traditions, like trying to, be so patriotic. And then we realized, oh,
Mm.
it's actually we don't do it because we have a very strong sense of nationality. So now we have started to actually be more patriotic, like not just the right-wing people, but just in general, because it's a way to bring people into Sweden. So we will have this like
Oh,
ceremonies for people who are becoming citizens and like, oh, now you're a citizen of Sweden, and trying to make it a thing.
that's fun. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't to bring it back to Bamse, I don't know if Bamse has any like racism themes. I'm sure there are some in the recent years, because as I said, I've only really read up to 2004, so I missed like 20 years of it. So I've
Mm.
heard some different people talking about different things that they have done, but back then it was not really a thing. It was much more about, I guess, like a classism or some kind of us versus them. But I don't think it's meant to be any kind of ethnicity, really. It's more like different kind of groups of people.
Yeah. Well, the bigger arc takes place here when he goes to the candy store because he hears I assume help means help.
Yeah, I didn't translate it because I thought it's like more of a It's not a speak bubble. What do you call it?
Right, right.
Speech
He
bubble.
comes in. What's happened, Catalone? Where's all the candy? It's nice that he checks in, but you might want to check for injuries before you ask about the candy. And it turns out that Vargan, driving a really sweet purple vehicle, has captured all sorts of candy. He drives directly at Bamse. This suggests that he's never heard about Bamse's massive strength before. You
Yeah,
don't
it's getting.
collide unpunished with the world's strongest bear.
Maybe you never tried to run into him with a car.
That's a good point.
Yeah, there's also kind of funny themes about cars, I feel like, in this series, because a lot of the characters walk everywhere, which seems it would take a long time, but they don't seem to mind. And then there are like some characters will have cars, and it's almost always like I feel like they are more like, for example, here the villain has the car, and
Mm-hmm.
then Skalman has a car, but it runs on raspberry cordial and not on gas.
World's first ethanol vehicle?
Yeah, I think it must be very efficient. It's like almost only water, but yeah. So it's
Actually, I
it.
think the first cars might have run on ethanol.
Hmm.
I might put in a correction before the listener gets mad. I gotta say, Vargan's lair looks so cool. I just love how what do you call it? The settings are so colorful, and then we get to his like spooky woods lair, and it's like
Mm,
purple. He's got a sword on the wall. Like this guy's real serious.
that's true.
Over at Bamse's grandma's house, she's got a kitty that carries the jars around. Uh, so cats there say meow.
That one is it's we call it meow, but the joke here is that it's like it's saying yes. So it's like yeah, like meow.
Oh, I love that. Okay. So grandma pours the honey into the jars, and then kitty. Does the cat have a name?
Yeah, the name is Jansson. And I
Janssen.
thought at first maybe it was a reference to this dish, which is about with fishes, but apparently not. It's named after one of the creator's friends, who was last
Oh,
name was Jansson. Which
that's
is you
fun.
can see that it's not a normal Swedish name, like that it must be named after someone because the Jansson here has only one S in its name, and that's weird. If it's a Swedish son name, it should always have two S. So now,
Gotcha.
but this one only has one S, so therefore it's weirdly spelled.
So Vargan pops up, scares the hell out of the kitty, and kicks the cart so all the honey falls down. Uh, oos, 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 bad me, so clumsy. All the jars fell down. I will get them immediately. And then he goes down and swaps the honey for some non thunder honey. The cat says, "What's with Vargan? Is he ill? Does that mean like mentally ill?"
No, I think it just means no, I think it just means like he's asking if he is like feverish.
Hmm, because he's clumsy.
No, just that he's being nice. So the cat is like, why is he being
Oh,
nice?
right.
Maybe he's
Okay.
like being weird for some reason.
That'd be funny if assholes got sick and became nice. That would be great. I noticed that Vargan never eats the thunder honey himself.
Yeah, they can't, no one else can eat it. If they do, they
Hmm.
only get stomach pain.
It's formulated for Bamse.
Yeah.
This is where we meet Skalman driving in his magic chair. He's got a big pillow. I love it.
Yeah, it seems great.
And they go to the zoo. And they love the zoo. Skalman is fishing for a hippo with a peppermint stick.
Yeah.
That's fun. So peppermint sticks, is that a year-round treat, or is it because it's January they have a bunch lying around?
No, it's It's not a super common treat, but it is year round. It's mainly local to this one region. So a lot of
Mm,
people go there as tourists and they will buy these sticks specifically there.
nice. So Vargan's next plot is to let the gorilla out, and everybody's freaking out. I love the like startled bears, like side characters,
Hmm.
extras. I don't know. Two of them jump onto street poles and or lamp posts and are all freaked out.
Yeah. And I even think these are staff at the zoo, I think. So the
Right.
staff are like, hiding.
They're either terribly trained or not given resources to handle loose
Yeah.
animals.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. It's like that's your job. And they're just like, what do we do? Yeah, and Skalman is being very useless. He just goes into a shell. Like, didn't he have any inventions? Maybe this was not his inventions were not elaborated yet.
Maybe he has a lab in there and he pops in to like
Mm,
mix up some gorilla repellent.
that would make sense.
So Bamse is a child, right?
Yeah, that's also a question because when you look at the size of the characters in the original comic, Bamse is much shorter than his grandma, which kind of gives the impression that they are like younger, for some reason. But then when he grows, because later on he has kids, so then he's an adult.
Does he get any larger?
No, not really. So grandma is
He's just a
still
short
way
guy.
taller, but all of the other characters are the same height. Like his wife is like the same height as him, and the children are shorter than them. So I think it's just one of those children things. It's fun to have different ages be different sizes, I suppose. So that it's like fun to have the grandma be taller because she's older. I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a little bit unclear how old they are in this, but I would say they are like adults, I think, all of
Okay.
them. Yeah. And Skalman is old. He is way older than the others. Yeah.
I see it as sort of a kid power fantasy. Like I can throw these really big people around
Yeah.
or convince them to be nice. In
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
case.
I think that it's kind of like, I guess at this point, they are more like stuffed animal characters. So they don't really have this super distinct age, I would say, in this. It
Mm.
like the way it feels in this one, I mean. It's kind of like if you would play with your stuffed animals, like you wouldn't think like this animal's 22 years old. It would just be like just a character.
That raises the question, do they have toys? Merchandise?
Yeah, they do have toys. Yeah. I guess we'll get into it when we talk about the Christmas present.
Yeah. Here's a great exchange. The gorilla picks him up. He says, I'm so glad that you like me, but you don't have to do it so violently. The gorilla takes him to his cage and just throws a bunch of fruit on him. And everybody's so happy. He fixed it without fighting. Yes, he doesn't like fighting. This is hard to believe, but the gorilla is happy to be back in his cage.
Yeah.
Guess that's a kid thing.
But Bamse is mad at that. He's like, oh, I shouldn't be allowed to keep this locked up.
Oh, snap. Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. Does that have anything to do with the missing pages?
No, it's the gorilla is not in the rest of it. As
That'd
far
be
as I
funny if
remember.
the rest of it is him releasing all zoo animals everywhere.
Yeah. But I think it's also weird because they wanted to go to the zoo. And then in the end, it's like, oh, I don't like this. So maybe he learned from meeting this gorilla.
Well, I mean, I feel the same way. I love the zoo. I want to go back, but I also feel weird about it. It's, so
Yeah,
now
you
I
feel like-
generally only go if I'm with a family outing or whatever.
Yeah, I know what you mean. It's kind of weird. I like it, some with circuses and stuff. I don't know I think that now they don't have any wild animals anymore. But they still will have dogs sometimes and stuff. So maybe it would be fun to
Ooh.
go to like a dog zoo where all the dogs are just like
Oh
chilling.
my God, that sounds amazing.
Yeah.
They'd all have like little habitats that look like human homes.
Oh
you
yeah, that
know,
would be
but
fun.
with stuff they can destroy without it,
Mm.
because they love to destroy things, chew them.
S- Some zoos they will have just like different farm animals. I guess you can have that. It's like goats and
Yes,
stuff.
that's my favorite place in our local zoo is
Mm.
go to see the goats, the ponies. Anything else about the first issue?
I think it's fun to include it because it is very basic. It's just like this, like all the whole rest of the story is like that, where it's just like this, yeah, kind of like a cartoon villain plot where it's like, oh, maybe I can do this, and try to kill Bamse. And then I think at the end, Vargen is like finding this kind of invention that Skalman made and try to steal it. And then he gets stuck in the invention. And then Bamse brings him to Skalman. It's like, oh, he stole your invention. And Skalman is like, oh, I already invented it. I don't care about it anymore. Because like I just like to make things. So he didn't care that he took it.
That's like me in podcasts. Somebody
Mm.
else promote these. I'm bad at that bit.
Yeah, so that way, what I mean is that it doesn't really hang together as a story. It's not like there is this thing with they do find the jars of honey, but it's like the story is not super connected through, with the red thread.
Kind of vignettes.
Yeah.
So let's go on to 96.
Yes.
52 Sidor.
Oh yeah,
Medju calendar.
that's 52 pages.
Ah,
And you can see the different prices as well. That's fun, actually. It's like when you look at the one that is from 1973, it cost 1:85, which would mean 1 krone 85, which by the 1996 one cost almost 20. So it's like almost 10 times as expensive as the first one.
that's a huge jump in just 23 years.
Yeah.
Is 185 like a nickel? That's how much Donald Duck comics were in 60s.
Yeah, it would be kind of like a nickel, yeah. Is a nickel 20 cents?
5 cents, so a
Oh
20th
no,
of.
okay. I could forget which ones are which. No, this would be like 20 cents. If you looked at it from if it was today, it would be 20 cents.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, there's been quite a inflation in comic prices over the years.
Yeah. But most people would not buy one issue. They would just subscribe to the comic. And a lot of times they would be comic. I'm sure other comics have this much more, but even in Bamse, there would be these continuous comics where it was at least two issues would have one story. They went through it. Like one of the comics would be.
Have a arc, like a 2 episode Star Trek episode.
Yeah, yeah.
So this story is called Won't Santa Ever Come?
Yes.
So I'm glad you added this because obviously it's December and we get to talk about Christmas traditions. I'm looking at this table and I see a ham, meatballs. We know that from IKEA. And
Yeah.
a bunch of other stuff I don't recognize. Maybe mashed potatoes in that green bowl.
Yeah. I think they're meant to be mashed potatoes. I'm gonna look. I think the red ones are these tiny sausages.
Mm.
It's always a question though what they eat. If they're all animals, they still eat animals. Like which animals? Because there are pigs in
Yeah.
this world that are
Yeah.
sentient, so they also have unsentient pigs that they eat.
Oh no. So bears are omnivores, so that's fine.
Mm.
Rabbits would not eat meatballs.
That's true.
Turtles, I don't think would
Turtles
either.
can eat meat, but I don't think
Oh,
they're
they can.
supposed to. They're supposed to eat not too much energy food. At least my friend had a turtle and it was not allowed to eat a lot of the things that he wanted because it's not good for it.
Hmm. The person I knew that had one would feed it lettuce. I don't know if that was
Mm.
its main diet, but yeah.
Yeah, I feel like that because they move so slowly. I assume they don't need a lot of calories, so it would probably be bad to feed it. But I don't know. When you say it, I don't know if they eat meat. But you're right, the
Hmm.
bears could eat meat. That would be the same.
Let's see. So the grandma sees a little mouse. I think at one point they call it hoosmoosen. Hoosmoosen.
Yeah,
Does that mean house mouse?
yes, it does.
Nice. And then we get some stockfish. Now we know this in America as lutefisk.
Mm.
It every year there's like a Lutheran celebration, and Lutherans, most of them practice, or most Scandinavians in our area who settled our area, practiced Lutheran religion. So anyway, at that time of year, they bust out the lutefisk, and to
Mm.
people who haven't had it, it sounds horrifying. Like, don't they stick it in the ground for a while?
No, no ground, but you dry it, and then when you're supposed to moisten it up again, then you put it in this lye. So it is
Lie.
has this, what do you call it, the opposite of acidic?
Base?
Yeah, it's very base. You can eat it together with other food, and sometimes it's like creates weird pH reactions to the base. But yeah,
Interesting.
it's the joke. They have a little visual joke where the mouse is like, what is this fish with the lute? Because the lute, is kind of like the lute fish.
It's a real SpongeBob fish playing a lute.
Yeah.
And then his string breaks and slaps him in the lip. And he's not even real. So, like, why is that happening? And the mouse hates the smell.
Yeah, the mouse. Which I think that they would be fine with this fish as well. The fish is all right, but only because you have sauce with it. So
Mm.
we eat it only on Christmas. And traditionally, it was not really a fancy food, but it becomes so because it's like this. Or I guess it could have been a fancy food. I feel like I should know more about Swedish traditions if I'm to tell all of these things. But it's with a lot of food, it's like used to be more normal food, and then when you eat it at Christmas, it becomes a little bit more fancy. Now that we actually have refrigerators. We don't need to dry our fish anymore. We can eat frozen fish.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of an analog here. Every Thanksgiving, which just happened, uh, a lot of people eat turkey, which most people don't make turkey dinner year round.
Mm.
Cranberries, most people aren't scarfing cranberry sauce during a normal meal. What else? We don't do Christmas goose. That's a British thing.
Mm.
Yeah, that's all I can think of. We would get a Christmas ham, though. That seems like it's translated from over there. Grandma gives the hoosmoosen a cheese, and then somebody drops a meatball in his mouth. The cat's like, "You have started eating meatballs, I could see," with like an evil gleam in his eye. And the mouse says, "No, I have not, thoughtless." Is it just flipping shit to the cat, or is its name Thoughtless? No, we already
No,
got its name.
yeah. There's all these different non-swearing insults that are in the story.
Yeah, the little bunny is named Minnie Hop,
Yeah.
and he's been playing with his food because he's full. So next they're gonna have some porridge. Is that like a dessert?
Yeah, I thought about calling it rice pudding because I know that's a thing in the
Oh,
US.
right.
But the thing is, this is hot, so I think that the rice pudding is cold rice.
Yeah, interesting.
Mm.
And then
Yeah,
one of the bears says, "I hope I get the almond." So that must be a Christmas tradition.
yeah,
One person gets the almond.
yeah. You have one almond in the porridge. Although I think that the tradition probably varies a lot because in this comic, they say that the one that gets the almond gets to make a wish. And we always had it like the one that gets the almond gets married, that is so much more boring. Like, especially if you're a child, it's like, okay.
Oh my God. What if you don't want to get married?
Yeah.
This wish
Yeah,
sucks.
and it's like, is it then, okay, you'll get married eventually at some point? That's kind of a boring what do you call it? Resolution. But we would always have more than one almond, so
Oh, interesting.
yeah, because we were many, so I think it was to make it fun.
The little bear makes his wish and he wants Santa to come. Now, we don't know yet if Santa's really gonna come because he's like, spoiler alert, made up. But I guess the kids reading this would believe in him.
Yeah.
So we're holding out hope that Santa will arrive. But the bear is bummed. He's like, let's put out some porridge and he'll definitely arrive.
Yeah, the grandma is laughing at them putting out the porridge, which suggests that Santa is not real. But then later on, we do see Santa, so I'm not sure
Yeah, he lives next door. What the hell?
Yeah.
Turns out cold porridge is also good. Oh, they dance around the Christmas tree. Is that a thing?
Yeah, that's also a thing.
Okay,
Sometimes it can be tricky because it's hard to put the Christmas tree in the middle of the room so you can
I was
dance
gonna
around
say,
it.
yeah. When I was a kid, they were too big to circle around.
Yeah. I think we never really danced, and I think that was mainly because of it, because you don't want to touch the Christmas tree because it's gonna fall the needles. So it was always like, no, it's in the, at least as far as I remember, we never danced around it, but it's definitely a thing. It's like you would read about it in books and such as well. And sometimes some people would go to these Christmas parties that were in this other more, public venues, and then they would be like dancing like throughout, and it's part of it, yeah, that you would dance in this kind of ring dance.
Now, does that harken back to the Norse religion?
I'm not sure. Our Christmas traditions are a very weird mix of things, because it's like we do have, like, for example, the porridge that you put out the porridge. That's part of a totally different tradition where we have Santa is called tomte in Swedish. And the tomte is actually a much older creature, which used to live when you had the farm. People knew that there was this tomte living in the farm, and it was this creature that looked after the farm, and you had to give it porridge every Christmas, otherwise it would get mad. And it would be evil sometimes, if you didn't give it porridge, it might kill like one of your bulls or something.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So then it's
wild.
kind of connected, that this thing was then connected to the Santa, and then they become mixed up. And there was also this goat that was like a Christmas goat that would go around and scare children and also give them presents. So
Christmas goat.
yeah.
That's awesome.
So I don't know about the ring dance, but we have like the ring dance as a tradition. It's made in different settings. So I think it's just maybe a way for families to dance.
Now, do you celebrate the maypole with the streamers and all that like they do in
England? There you also dance around it.
I noticed that Skalman has upgraded his chair to have arms and legs.
Yeah.
Incredible.
I did think it was funny that in these ones, like all of them, Skalman doesn't walk, which in most comics he walks. But then it just happened that in these comics, it's like, no, I'm going to have these contraptions. Yeah, what are we asking?
This song, Nu är det jul igen och... What's going on there?
It's like Yule is Christmas. So it's like now it's Christmas. Now it's Christmas again, and now it's Christmas again. It's like this song. It goes like this. Nu är det jul igen, och nu är det jul igen, och julen varar inte påska. And then you can't like dance around it.
Oh, that's lovely. Are there two grandmas?
Yeah, there's like both And the maternal grandma, she is almost never in the comics. I think she's only there because it's the Christmas one.
Oh, okay. She's
She doesn't
visiting.
live in this area. She lives elsewhere.
She says, "Ooj, ooj, ooj." How do you say that?
Uy, uy, uy.
Ooh, you. Now my old legs can't handle it anymore. I will sit in the rocking chair, but dance on, children. They go out to see if Santa's eaten the porridge. It's still out there. They're worried Santa won't arrive. They're like, maybe we haven't been kind enough. And the other kids are like, no, you've been kind. It's fine. I like that. We say, have you been good?
Mm,
But I think kind is better almost, or it's more specific, because being good is often like about your specific works or the things you're not doing,
mm.
not so much about the people themselves, you know.
Yeah, that's true. And I did think about the translation because we have this word which is very central in Bamse because it's like the snäll, and that means kind. And that's like you said with the earlier comic, it's like Bamse is supposed to be the kindest bear. And the thing is that snäll is like a little bit broader maybe than your kind, so it can also mean to be well behaved. But I thought it's more, if you talk about it with children, like you could say like be snäll now, and that would mean like be calm, you know. It doesn't have to be like
Ah,
but the thing is, like, I thought it would be better to use the same word because it is like this kind of central word. So
yeah.
you can say it can be nice, but it does not mean nice as in polite, you know. It means that you are doing something good, you know. So
Right.
I guess it's like a little bit, all of the words go a little bit into each other.
So one of the kids is named Nalmaja. How do you say that?
Nalle-Maja.
Nalemaya. Does that mean anything?
Nalle is teddy, like the name for if you have a teddy bear, it's like a Nalle. And Maya is just a female name.
Gotcha. And Brahma?
That is, broom is a sound that the bear makes. What is the bear sound in English?
Rawr.
Rar.
Roar or rar. Yeah.
Ah, but it doesn't have one that kind of like meow or woof or.
Or growl. No, oh, an
Uh,
onomatopoeia? I don't
mm,
think so. Grr, maybe?
yeah, because we have broom. Like if you would say like what noise does the bear make? It's like broom. So
Interesting.
it's connected to that. So it's like the brown bear is called Brum, and then the youngest sister is called Brumma.
Gotcha. So they head off to their own house. So they
Yeah.
must have been visiting maternal grandma.
Mm. No, that one is paternal grandma.
Oh, okay. They seem to live close enough that they can walk. That's nice.
Yeah.
And they have zero presents.
No. Maybe I should show you actually the setting that they live in because there's not really any there's not a picture, I think, in the comics that you had. I'm gonna look for it, but we can keep talking also.
Sure thing. So they don't have any presents, so they're gonna check and see if their friends have presents. There's Lil Mickle who looks like a fox. Um, they visit Pig Cot.
Yeah.
Looks like a hedgehog.
Do you have Mikkel in English? Like it Mikkel is a
Mickle.
name for fox.
Oh, okay. Well, my middle name's Michael, but that's named
Hmm.
after a angel.
Oh, because in Sweden it's the name of the foxes, it's like a nickname or the way that you would, you know, personify the fox. So you would be like, oh, this is like Mikkel the fox.
Gotcha. And Pig Coat, is that a hedgehog?
Yeah.
Cool. They got a castle and a dollhouse. Oh, the fox got a train.
Mm,
Kura, also a fox in
not
a yellow
sure.
skirt. She's got skis.
No, she's a squirrel.
Oh, okay. That makes sense. The
But it
buck
does
teeth.
look like the squirrel would not be red, really. They should be brown. But I think in the Bamse they are red. All the squirrels are red.
Yeah, that makes sense. Contrast with the brown bear there. Gravla looks like a badger?
Yeah.
Cool. What does Tio Ho mean?
It's just the noise that people make if they go downhill, for example. So it's like shoo.
Is it like get out of my way? I'm hustling.
I guess it's more of a joyous noise. It's like,
Ah, we would say woohoo.
yeah, it's similar to that.
So they still haven't got any presents in. Gravla is like, have you been that naughty? That's not like you. We haven't made any mean mischief. And that's when we find out that maybe something happened to Santa. So they go to look for him. They're afraid that the wolf cousins might have robbed him. This one bear, I guess this is Broom, says, don't
Yeah.
say such a horrible thing. Surely no one is that mean. Is Bamse not in this one at all?
And now he's back in the grandma house. So
Oh,
he's
okay.
just chilling there. They're the ones that left to look for the presents.
So they go looking for a sleigh track and they find it. Apparently, Santa does not fly with reindeer.
No, and that's also one of the things I was trying to figure out what is even the normal Swedish way because like we have a lot of American influence for Christmas. So we watch like for example Christmas Eve we watch all of the not all of them, but we watch some Disney cartoons, and that's like part of the Christmas tradition. And then part of them is the reindeers flying. And I had like the Rudolph, some kind of Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer movie that I watched a lot as a child. So we have that tradition, but it's also not super common to have it as part of the story to the children. Like I think it's more, I'm not sure how people do it, but the thing is, I guess I can tell you about how the Santa work is like Santa comes on Christmas Eve and he comes into the house. So someone has to dress up like Santa and come in and give the presents. So
Okay.
therefore there's not a lot of reindeers because you cannot fake the reindeers. So Santa just will walk, coming up to the house, usually carrying like a lantern or something if you have it, to be a little bit like more fun.
I wonder where the reindeer thing came from. Because reindeer are mostly a Finnish thing, right?
We have them in Sweden as well. But yeah, I don't know. That is interesting. Yeah, why is it reindeer? And why is it like, I guess it's reindeers are wintry creatures, so it's fun that
Hmm.
way.
The Wolf cousins have stolen a bunch of presents. They've got boxing gloves, a hockey stick, uh, wine. I don't know. There's a bottle turned out. One of them has a sword. There's apples.
I think they'll say it's trash.
Oh, okay. They're just messy.
Yeah.
So they've stolen the presents. Oh, one of them says, "Don't be so sure. Maybe those are their presents that they were supposed to get."
Yeah.
And this one is this Nalmaya.
Yeah.
They have gotten, and not us. How unfair. Then we see Light, and she says, or the other one says, "I don't think anyone lives there. Let's go check it out." And it's
Mm.
Santa's lantern on a
Mm.
sleigh. And he has, is that a ram pulling his sleigh?
Oh yeah, good question. I think it's a goat.
A goat, okay.
But I guess yeah, the question
It is
is
shaggy like a mountain goat, yeah.
yeah. I also don't know exactly the translation from Swedish because I think maybe we use the same word for ram and for goat. But I think this one is a
Hmm.
goat. And there's also, the goat tradition of Sweden. For example, the straw goat that people try to burn down. Have you seen it?
Is that like a Wicker Man thing where you burn it at a certain time for a good harvest?
It's like there is this one city in Sweden that puts up this giant straw goat as part of the festivities. So they make this like huge one. And the thing is like everybody tries to burn it down. And it becomes so much a tradition that it's like expected, like, oh, will it burn? Like, when will it burn? People will bet on it, you know? So I think that's what I think about when I think about Christmas goats in Sweden.
So they just wait for the first delinquent who wants to win the
Yeah, but it's really hard. Like the city tries to make it so that it doesn't burn. So it's
okay.
I can show you here the goat images.
Oh man, that looks awesome.
Yeah, and then the idea is then that people try to burn it down, and it's become a whole thing. Like, will it burn down? When? And then they tried to do a lot of different ways to keep it from burning, and then people would always manage to burn it anyway. So it's become a really
Amazing.
fun thing, but some people don't like it because they don't think it's nice to encourage arson. So, which is also a good point.
So the kids find Santa. It turns out he sprained his ankle. So they agree to help out. Oh, so these are Bamse's kids.
Yeah.
Okay, so they go to get Dad, and yeah, Dad, we have found Santa. He's hurt, and the sleigh is stuck. We have to help him quickly. Oh, and Grandma says, "Don't forget the thunder, honey, Bamse."
I don't know why it's green in this one. I think it's just a mistake.
The honey is green?
Yeah, in the picture when he eats the honey, it's green.
Oh. Oh, yeah, I see. Okay, yeah. Weird. Green honey.
Mm.
So Bamse easily pulls the sleigh loose. There you go. Hands out some presents. Or no, he puts them all in, and they're going to help him deliver them. Yay, I get to be Santa. Oh, man. So they're going back to Grandma. The Christmas goat gets hay to eat.
Yeah.
Bamse carries the sleigh up the tall mountain.
Yeah, Grandma lives at the top of the tall mountain. I tried to find a picture of the whole area of Bamse, but I couldn't find it. But like a lot of, or some of the different houses are on hills. And apparently the creator was influenced by Sicily.
Ah. Yeah, here most hills are occupied by rich people. Unless it's like the middle of the city. Let's see. They got some wrapping paper. They're going to give... Oh, they give Santa a present. And he says, I've never gotten a Christmas present before. Aw, and it's a little stuffed Santa.
Yeah.
Thanks, kind kids. Ugh. In the end, it was a really good Christmas Eve. Maybe even better than usual. The next one is about Vargan, a lone wolf. It's fox kids come up. Poor you, Vargan. You live all
these
by
are not,
yourself in
these
the
are also
forest.
squirrels. So it's the
Oh,
same.
these are squirrels. Gotcha.
Yeah, they're red
squirrels.
ones. I guess it doesn't matter at all, but I think it's like I'm trying to be pedantic.
So he's like, oh, maybe I am lonely. I'll go check on my cousins. Sounds like they're having a good time. And they're arguing about who came up with the jokes. They're just real temperamental, these guys.
Yeah.
Now laugh, or else. Or else what? Blah, blah, blah. Vargan tries to settle him down, and they chuck a chair at him. Oh, my God. Runs back home. He puts barriers up behind the door, and he's just going to avoid all the quarrel and strife. The guy with a sword, a gun, and a club just lying around.
Yeah.
That's a fun little button on the episode.
Yeah, but he is at this point, he is actually kind now. So I think that all the
nice.
weapons are mostly just like souvenirs because he has.
From my old pirating days.
Yeah, pretty much. Because back in the day, when he was introduced, he was like the world champion of meanness. So he had a diploma on the wall that was like world champion. And he still has it and is like proud of it, but at the same time it's like, no, now I'm nice. So, but he does like relapse in different comics. And the comics will they will mix, when I read them, they would mix old and new, so they would do reruns of the old ones. And then they would be like, this is a comic from when Varian was mean. And then he would be like trying to kill Bamse. And then it would be like the next comic's like, no, now it's nice.
That's great.
Yeah.
So we'll move on to 2002. I noticed they don't have titles. Well,
maybe... Oh, you mean the whole issue doesn't have a title?
Maybe comics don't usually have titles. I don't know. I'm thinking
no,
of
I think
TV
that's
episodes.
Just the issue number. So this one is just number 1 of 2002.
Yeah. This picture is great. It's like he's gone overboard from a cruise ship. He's got a little dog hauling some thunder honey. These waves look incredible.
Yeah.
Was it always drawn by Rune? Yeah. Was he always the artist or the writer?
He would draw, and then he would be the kind of storyboard. Like he would make he wouldn't draw like necessarily, but he would make the stories.
Gotcha.
I guess, yeah, like the storyboard. Like he would make the plots until he retired. So he died in like around 2000. I think it's. I forgot exactly when.
And in the bottom right, the initials are different. So I assume that's the artist and the writer.
Oh yeah, that I haven't thought about, but yeah, there could be. I'm not totally sure. You can see the artist in the first page of each comic. You can see like who did the story and who did the drawing.
Okay, Beratad av Johan Lindholm, och Jan Magnuson. So are those the writers?
Yeah, those are the writers. And then the cartoonist or whatever it's called is like Lars Bellsten and Ann Herdfeldt.
Okay,
but
got it.
I wouldn't know like which ones. I guess if you were a real super fan, you could be like, oh, these ones are like by this cartoonist, so it's better. I think that a lot of people would say probably that the original ones, by Rune are better, or it's one of those things. It's always tricky because it's if something changes, or if it changes over time, does that mean that it's gotten worse? Or people will think about when something lives on for a long time. The question, I suppose, becomes if it's better or not. In the beginning,
it's always hard when the original creators die. Like you see big changes over time.
Yeah, and I think that if the creator is still around, then they can change things, and people might not have a problem with it. But if they are dead, then it can be more sensitive when you change, because then it's like, is this in line with the vision? But Bamse did change a lot during the time, so I think it makes sense that it would continue to change. Especially, one of the things that is funny is like the first comic that we read. There are like the only named character is the woman that runs the candy store, and it's like the grandma doesn't. I mean, she has a name, but this name is almost never said because she's always called grandma. And the three main characters are guys, so it's very like guy centric. And then later on, it becomes a little bit more broad, because there are all these kind of different characters. So even though it's still like kind of because of like the main characters still being these three guys, it becomes a little bit skewed in that way, I suppose.
Gotcha.
But that's one of the ways it changed. Yeah, sorry.
The story is called The Secret Goalie. You see Ola Badger and Michalina practicing bandy together. So is this just where you like bounce a ball back and forth?
No, bandy is like a similar sport to hockey, but you play it with the ball rather than a puck. And it's
Mm.
the field when you play it in a sport setting, the field is much larger. So there's a more of a focus of like skating on the different parts of the court.
Oh, okay.
You don't really tackle you it's more about, doing these long skatings and like passing really far.
More finesse. So the Wolf cousins show up and they want to get in on this action, but they want to play hockey. One of them says, that's nothing for us. Bandy is too pansy. And we like rough play. In hockey, you have to stand a tackle. And he just knocks the Badger over. And he says, we're showing you that hockey is not for pansies or girls. Rude. And Michelina says, I will indeed show you that I know tough girl tricks. And fucking knocks that guy on his ass. And so they're going to play hockey. So they got to round up some more players. They say Bamse can't use his Thunder Honey because it's cheating. And the Wolves aren't allowed to have any tricks. We see Skalman. He's got a different conveyance this time. He's got a sled with skates under it and a little arm that holds up his hockey stick.
Yeah, which also feel like cheating. And that's also a fun tradition in the Bamse comics is that they have a lot of sports episodes. There are so many different issues where they do different sports. I think it's maybe part of the message, because it's nice to encourage different team sports and stuff. So they will play a lot of times, like the different, sometimes they will play, I think actually mostly they will play the Wolves most of the time. But in the early comics, it's like way much more cheating because Bamse does eat the honey and it's super strong and he plays against the others. So I think that's like part of the acknowledging like, okay, maybe that's not fair. And then Skalman has also inventions that like they play football, like the normal kind, not the American one. And Skalman has like this machine that catches all the balls. And it's like, what? And that's it seems kind of unfair. Yeah.
So Varian wants to be the goalie. And
yeah, for the Wolves.
They are not into it.
Yeah, I just want to mention that it's also funny note that all of the Bamse gang are wearing helmets and the Wolves are not. It's like, and Varian is also wearing a helmet. So it's like, no, now you're like too much of a goody person. Like they don't want to allow you.
Now their goalie doesn't have a face mask or a pad. Does have the wider stick. But yeah, she's going to get a hockey puck in the grill.
Yeah.
If she's not careful.
I wonder if the goalie would, back in like 2002, if it was mandatory for them to have face mask. I assume when they were children that they had to have the mask when they were playing hockey.
Yeah, I would think so. So they don't want Vargan to be their goalie because he lost last time.
Yeah, which I think is a real comic, like when they play the rabbits, but I don't remember how that one goes.
He says, also, now you are friends with Bamse, so you can't be trusted. And also, our team is already full. I guess they don't have a penalty box in kid hockey because you need extra players to sub in, especially if somebody gets hurt.
Yeah, which is one of the problems, but...
So Vargan's bumming that his cousins won't have him. So he's going to join Bamse's team. And they don't trust him because they don't think he'd play fair against his cousins. So they send him on his way. And Skalman's clock is ringing. I guess that means it's time to play, and they're one person short.
No, that's what it's not. His clock is ringing for sleeping.
Oh, okay, got it. So he's out last minute. So they're going to play without one player.
Mm. Yeah, but if it did, I think that the thing is, if they could have sub players. I think that they just don't have enough players.
Yeah. They have a pig referee. Don't know where he came from.
Yeah, there's always a referee whenever they play, which I think is probably smart because otherwise it would be very messy.
Oh, yeah.
When they play this. It's too serious for non-referee.
So just standard action here. They're tripping each other. They're running into each other. Michelina grabs the... she does have neat like leg pads. Okay.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
She grabs the puck. Then Cub crashes into her. Referee suspends him. But Michelina's hurt. So Bamse has the bright idea to bring in a ringer with an opaque helmet.
Yeah, he does have it. That's good. He does have the faceplate.
Yeah. And the goalie just destroys them. He can't be stopped. Catches all the shots. The Wolves are just totally gassed. And Bamse gets a goal. And that's it. They win. I guess it was a tie game until then.
Yeah.
Maybe
Not
it was
many
sudden death.
goals then. I think that so this is the only goal in the whole game.
I guess.
For hockey, that would be considered a very dull game. This is not football. Like there should be many goals.
Yeah. Huh. I guess they're evenly matched, even down a player.
Yeah.
So yeah, and the Wolves are furious that Vargan was playing goalie, and he's teaching his friends a lesson. You should have let Vargan be on the team. Everyone should be able to join. That lesson you have all learned. And forget about the ugly tricks. Those only make you lose. He's one to talk. Yeah, you did the ugliest trick. Sniped our goalie without asking us. So cute.
Yeah.
These things rule. I want
Yeah,
more.
I picked this one also because it's also a wintry one, so I thought it was nice. And also because Varian is in it, because Varian is the best character, so you have to include him in
He's
the...
got the most complex arc.
Yeah, I think so. It's just fun. Like, even when you were little, you were just like, oh, first it was mean, then it was nice. You know, it's like this kind of... and it's fun to have the characters evolve, I suppose. And he also has like the saddest backstory. There's like the Varian backstory comic where like his parents die in a fire and he's like raised by these criminals, and it's like
Oh my
very
God.
dramatic. Yeah.
Wow. Were the criminals his cousins?
No, I don't think so. I don't know. That's a little bit confusing. I think I would have to maybe reread to remember, but at least when I read it, I didn't recognize these characters. I think that he's just, but they were wolves as well. But I think that the cousins are later.
Now, I'm noticing in this one that the landscapes aren't as detailed.
Mm.
I wonder if that's a change after he died, maybe.
Yeah,
maybe
that
it was
could
just
be.
this particular artist.
I mean, it could be this artist, or it could be also the way that this setting is like they are only in the hockey rink
yes.
or like on the lake. So maybe it's like a little bit more tricky to get different features in it. But that's true. It's like more fun landscape in the other ones.
I just realized Lil Scoot, her thought bubble is a dark cloud with lightning coming out of it.
In which one?
As she mean mugs the wolf cousins. She's like, you mother.
Wait, which one is that? In which page?
That's right after Michelina gets hurt and they're taking her off to the
Oh,
sauna.
yeah.
I don't know,
Yeah.
the medical tent, whatever it is.
Oh, yeah. Little sauna tent. No, Lily Scoot is a guy also.
Oh, excuse me.
Yeah, only the only way that you see if they are supposed to be female is that they have eyelashes. which is weird for the children because like why would the girl children have eyelashes? They all have the same. They're not gonna use
all kids
mascara.
have longer eyelashes, right?
Yeah, or at least the same length. But that's always the thing I feel like when I had the stuffed animals, it was like the stuffed animals would look the same, but then the one that was supposed to be female would have eyelashes, and it's like why? It's like
Shit.
trying to just like put some kind of accessories, I suppose.
Now, this one didn't have any magical elements, really.
No, that's true. It's like it's very mixed. I was trying to decide which comics to include, to try to make it a little bit broad. And the thing that I decided was to do only ones that are in the home setting, because there are many when they go on adventure, there are things when they go on a time machine, and I thought, like, let's stay in this. Yeah, there's so many time machines.
I know what I want to do next. Holy shit.
Yeah, there's like time machine, lots of time machine stories. This, of course, Skalman's machine that he made. And sometimes they get stuck back in time, and it's like these different things. Wow. And they will visit, in the time machine, they will visit different historical characters sometimes, and talk to them and interfere. But so I thought like to do the ones that were more in the setting, and also because the time machine ones are often two-parters, so it's pretty long. It would be long to translate.
Yeah, this way we got a good mix.
Yeah, and when you go on the time machine, you don't get the original characters because usually they just visit this one time characters and then go back. So it's not maybe as telling as much about the world. But then, I was trying to pick something that was like supernatural with the Santa, because that's also a thing. There's a lot of supernatural elements. The only thing that does not exist are ghosts. They are never real. Oh. Like everything else exists, but it's always whenever it's like ghost stories, like no, ghosts don't exist.
That's great.
Yeah. So it's kind of, people make fun of it, that it's like there are trolls, there are witches, but like no ghosts. They are made.
Well, that's awesome. Anything else about Bamse before we close it up?
Yeah, I guess I wanted to do. There was one character that I wanted to include because it's fun. It's like very much a parallel to Donald Duck comic, which is the Krösus Sork, which is he is a vole. Do you call it a vole? Like this kind of.
It's like a rodent.
Yeah, a rodent. He's kind of like a Scrooge character, but he is like the most evil villain of the story. He will always like. All of the other villains, usually they do something that is a little bit redeemable, like maybe at one time or another they will be nice, or they will have a guilty conscience or something. But this Krösus character, he never does. He's always is like, I want the money, like I will. And he's not like doing it in a legal way. He will like have people, he will have his like gang of people try to fix things. Like he has a bounty on Bamse for people to kill him. He will pay them.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So I kind of wanted to include him, but I couldn't find any fun comics. Like I found all the kind of weird ones because I couldn't find all of my parents' old comics. I think they have them stored too deeply in their storage. So I didn't include him, but that would have been kind of fun. Because he's a funny character. I guess just from the sense that it's like, I think he's inspired by the Donald Duck Scrooge.
Yeah. Well, I want to get my hands on all this content. Did they make any TV or movies?
Oh yeah, they have actually made. First, there's like a lot of different movies, and the ones that I watched when I was a child, they were terrible. I think just from the sense of like production values, this is like this 2D, very simple, and mostly just remember the different songs, like they were very, these kind of children's songs. But they have made some newer ones as well, so those could be fun. I have no idea. I haven't watched any of them, but I know that there's at least one that is like more it's on IMDb and such. So maybe I could send it to you. You can see.
Do you
But
think
yeah,
it would have English subtitles?
Yeah, I'm thinking you could probably find it somewhere. Like I don't know actually, but you could probably find some kind of subtitles. I'm not
Cool.
totally sure. I'm just it might even exist with like a different cast, that they're. It's hard for me to say because normally I would be like, oh yeah, I'm sure it's translated. But since Bamse is never translated, I don't know actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for bringing this to my attention. This is fantastic.
Oh, that's fun.
Anything? Gosh, we could talk off air, but whether you'd like to go back to Star Trek or do something else.
I would be interested in watching more Star Trek if you feel like it's
Hell yeah.
not too many.
So yeah, we'll talk off air. Maybe do the next season or have an interlude. This is great. Oh, you haven't seen any of the Star Trek movies, have you?
Only the new ones, that was like kind of rebooty.
One of the best is a time travel story where they go back to modern day and pick up a couple of humpback whales to take back to the future. It's incredible. Yeah. I'd love to cover that someday.
Yeah, that would be fun. Do you know? But like, is it? Are those Next Generation or are they for the other?
They're original series, so you wouldn't recognize them. We can't do First Contact, even though it's my favorite, because there's so many spoilers for those Next Generation characters.
Oh yeah.
So you wouldn't have any context. Whereas the movies, Star Trek movies, I mean, I guess you kind of would need context because it starts out with them like flying a Klingon ship instead of their own ship. But it's not, you don't have to think too hard about where they're from and what their deal is.
I feel like I do know more about the original characters in just from general pop culture info.
Yeah, Spock and Bones and Kirk.
Yeah.
Sulu.
Sulu, I don't know if you know.
Recommendations.
Yeah. I want to recommend The Ark, which is like a really old band. I mean, in the sense that they have been around for a long while. And they were also I can't speak today. I think I've been thinking too much about Bamse. It's in Swedish. It's the band. They were formed a long while ago. They were also what do you call it when they split? Like they were split up for a long while.
Yeah, they broke up.
They were broken up. Yeah. So and then they had like this reunion recently. But I think it's like a really fun band. I used to listen to them back as a teen, and they are this kind of glam rock lyrics with the lyrics are a mix of like kind of LGBT and Christianity themes, so that's fun. And they are they're doing like this funny clever lyrics. And the reason that I thought about them is because I watched their singer do this performance yesterday, and it was really fun. And they did a lot of the songs of the Ark. So it's like the Ark, like Noah's Ark.
Right.
And if anyone watched the Young Royals, they have one of the Ark songs in that one.
So is their first album We Are the Ark?
Yeah, there's an album called that.
They did an off-Broadway play.
Oh, I don't know about that. Could be.
Yeah, in 2006.
Yeah.
Cool. I'll give them a listen. That's great. I'm still reading Dungeon Crawler Carl. It's fantastic. I don't think I have anything new besides that. I guess I'll just plug Unspoiled Star Trek Project again because they're great. Nathan and Joe. They randomize and kind of like we do if we run out of ideas, we'll go to the big list and pick until one of them strikes their fancy.
Yeah, that's that. Of course, people don't locate you directly, so send us an email, greatandsecretknowledge@gmail.com. I'm at El Jefe Tacoma. We have a Facebook group, a Facebook page, and I think that's it. Tell your friends about us. Check out the other things we've covered: Wizard of Oz, Wicked, The Thing, Bartimaeus trilogy, just on and on and on. There's something good for everyone there. And listen to my other show, Shattered Worlds RPG, which is an actual play set in the world of my books, and Omniversal Escapades every other Sunday at 6:30 Pacific. We're going to do that here in a few hours. And that's right now we're doing a post-apocalyptic Dungeons and Dragons adventure. And it's a ton of fun. We're all pretty funny. It's great. And those are all archived at youtube.com/Omniversal Escapades. All right. I think that's all my plugs. Do you have anything else?
Do you want to do a clap in the end instead?
That's incredible. Yeah, let's do a clap at the end.
The
3,
end of the story.
2, 1. Now I know. What a mean, fun idea. Oh, boy.
A huge thanks to James Lark of jameslark.co.uk for providing our wonderful theme song. Thank you, James.